Hey, sixth grade. Wanted to get started with our new lessons. I have here the printed handout for topic 1 notes. Now, if you notice when you printed the topic 1 notes, it was many lessons. This first one is 2 pages. The next one, I believe, is just 1 page. And we'll go from there. So what I want you to have available is your notebook. These notes, if you didn't already glue them in the notebook, that is totally fine. Let's do the lesson and then you can glue it in after. Okay. Notice that I glue mine in trying to leave the holes open. I don't know why. That's just a weird thing with me. You do not have to do that. You can go all the way to the edge if that works better for you. The other thing I would suggest that you have is just a few colored pencils. Okay. Highlighters, anything like that, just have them as available to you. Okay. Now, this first topic is really about the vocabulary and the rules that make math work. So it's kind of a really nice, soft place to start. So we're starting with vocabulary. You are very capable of reading. I'm not going to read them all to you. But this is what I mean when I say numerical expression or algebraic expression or a quantity. Okay. Now, this next section is something that you've seen before. You saw this in elementary school, that there are key words that tell us when to add, when to subtract, when to multiply, when to divide. Okay. And I want to go over these in some expressions and examples from what we'll be learning now. Okay. Now, I want to be very clear. The word expression, okay, is a numerical phrase. Very soon we're going to get into equations. An equation is a numerical sentence. It has an equal sign in it. A numerical expression does not. Okay. So when I see phrases like the sum of 13 and 4, or the total of 13 and 4, or 3 increased, this should say increased by, should have a D, 14, or 14 more than 3, I think this, 3 plus 14. Now, the nice thing in math is that you can add in either order. Okay, so the order isn't very specifically important. And you're going to learn the name of that law in a couple days. Keywords for subtraction: difference, subtracted from, decreased by, less than the other number. Okay, so this is saying the difference of 26 and 12. I need to write it in that order. Okay, 12 subtracted from 26. Oh, that makes sense too. 26 decreased by 12. If I had $26 and I decreased that by giving my son some money, that makes sense. Okay. 12 less than 26. I had 26 and now I have 12 less than that. Again, that's where that comes from. Okay. Now, when we get into multiplication, we see some words like product and multiplied. Okay. So an expression here, the product of 15 and 9, 15 times 9. Another way to write that, and a way that you're going to see it a lot in middle school, high school, into college, is instead of an X-looking thing for a time symbol, you are going to see a big dot. Okay? That also means times. Okay? Keywords for division: quotient, divided by. Okay? Now, again, division, the order matters a lot. So the quotient of 144 and 12, 144 and 12. Do it in that order. That also means 144 divided by 12. Now, you're going to see me show this countless times this year, but I'm going to show it again right now. Okay? That means 144 divided by 12. If you do it the other way around, you get a very different answer. Okay? So just giving you that information. Now, as I'm talking and as you're working with notes, you should be copying down these examples as well. If you didn't, please pause and copy them down. Occasionally, I'm also going to ask you to underline things or circle things. Okay? Now, this particular lesson had 2 pages. So I'm going to flip it around to the other side. Now, your other side could be on the next page. That would be fine. But I'm going to show you at the end how the lessons typically are set up and kind of how I want you to go through this notebook. We'll talk about it in class on Monday as well. Okay. Now, many of you learned in elementary school order of operations, sometimes called PEMDAS. Okay. PEMDAS is not any mathematical anything. It's just to help us remember. Okay. So it means that first we need to do anything that's inside any kind of parentheses or grouping symbols. Next, we need to complete any calculations that are related to exponents or radicals. We won't do radicals yet, but it is the same step. Then we need to do any multiplication or division left to right. Multiplication does not come first. Division does not come first. You do whichever one you get to in order, left to right. Same thing with addition and subtraction. Whichever one you get to in order, left to right. Okay? Now, order of operations is a law. I'm not going to tell you to use it, just not like I'm not going to remind you when you go outside tomorrow that there's gravity. It exists. Okay? So just a reminder that that is the order of operations and it's a law. It exists. Okay? Now, the next thing I want to get to is some more terms. Now, notice on these I gave words, but no definitions. I want you to write these in as we go. So a coefficient is a number with a variable. Okay, they're actually being multiplied. So in this case, coefficients, okay, I'm going to see if I can scoot this down, make it bigger for you guys. Nice, okay. And zoom this in. This is a new document camera for me. So the coefficients here would be 3 and 4. These are saying 3 times x, 4 times x, but the numbers 3 and 4 are coefficients. The variables, okay, are the letters. A variable is a letter or symbol for an unknown value. Okay, a letter or symbol for an unknown value. We don't know. 3 times, I don't know what yet, but we know that x is standing in for it. Okay? Now, a constant is just like it sounds. It is a number with a constant value. Okay? Now, the last thing I want to show you, and I'm actually looking for perfect. I'm going to get out a highlighter right here, okay, is this word terms. Okay, terms are values separated by addition or subtraction. Now, I told you that 3 and x are being multiplied, but they make one term. Okay, so a term is a value in an expression or equation separated by addition or subtraction. Okay, so if they ask you how many terms there are, there would be 3 terms here: 3x, 4y, and 12. Those are each terms. Okay, so, man, I still messed that up. I'll go back and make that nicer later. Okay. Now, the other thing I'm going to create for you and make sure that I link to this lesson is how you can go into Savas Relays and you can go through the examples before you even do any of your try problems. Okay, so you have my lesson, notes, you're going to have the ability to read through the book and look through some things online, and you're going to try a couple problems before we meet and try some things together and give you the opportunity to ask questions. Hopefully that helps.